Hey guys, what is up? So, this isn't exactly a daily episode, it's more of a milestone recap kind of episode, but there's going to be a lot of crossover with some stuff I've been talking about, and especially since I posted kind of in bulk in the last week or two. And I'm probably honestly going to keep doing it like that just because it's kind of hard for me to post every day. Like not today. This month, September of 2023, kind of marks a milestone month of when I first decided to switch careers. So it's been a journey, not a bad journey. It seems like it's been bad because it's so easy to focus on all the things that I wish would be better and smoother and faster and easier and less of a drain on my energy because it's just so much new stuff and new ways of thinking, you know. And I spent so many years, in the field of psychology. I remember when I first started in psychology, I got really used to it, after a while. There was a point where I was like, anytime now they might fire me because I don't really know. And then, like I wasn't doing anything like illegal or like unethical, but it's like, like I was behind a lot and like I just didn't know, how it really looked, like what the expectations really were. And then once I realized and found out that the demands are far too high in community mental health like that, and like the pay is never going to be better, and not never going to be better like as in it's good, but like it's bad pay and it's never going to improve. Like those sites are seen as, training sites. They're not seen as sites where someone's really gonna want to stick it out, forever. And so, I learned about it, learned about the position, learned about, the work, and eventually got comfortable with it to a point where I was like, yeah, I don't have to look everything up, and like I'm pretty confident in myself with things. And meetings were meetings, it was a lot of public speaking. You'd have to just do it. And like, groups, running groups, those were things like anything that involved like the public speaking aspect, like giving all these presentations and stuff. Like, I do that like what, at least twice a week or so because of supervision and because of our other case conference meetings and stuff. And like, you know, um I don't know, part of me doesn't really want to spend too much time talking about that. But I mean, like, it's just, like it's been a journey, and I feel like I did the work I was sent to do with that. I don't know if I'll ever be required to do that kind of work again. I don't really know. But I feel like I was led to do it, and then in my heart I always kind of knew, and I even told some of my closer friends, like, I don't really know what I'm going to get into next, probably something with tech, and that's always something I wanted to go into, but I was like, I don't really know when. I don't know when. I don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know when that's going to be, but and this was like a few years before I'd even left. I was still at the first clinic, and I was like still talking like, okay, eventually I'm going to make another career move. Because I wasn't trying to be in clinical forever anyways. I just knew I was good at it, and it's like, well, if you're helping people, why not do a job where you're helping people, and then when you're done, when you don't want to do it anymore, just stop. Because it's like I already knew I had other things that I was trying to work out, and I'm like, okay, well, at least with that kind of job, when I wasn't motivated to work too much, like when you're, those nights where you're tired, or maybe you stayed out too late, or maybe you stayed up too late, or just had a bad dream or couldn't go back to sleep, or like you're just tired for whatever reason it may be, just stressed in general, just things kind of piling up or whatever, or maybe something financially comes up and is like, oh shoot, I gotta pay for all this stuff. Like car repairs would be a big one for me and all kinds of stuff. So it's like every so often something would come up and I'd be like, that's why I don't want to stay in this job because it doesn't pay well, or because, I'm so stressed, or, I'm losing sleep over certain things, or I'm worrying about certain, like it was a lot to kind of think about, worry about. Um, it's like if, sometimes I'd wake up and be like, oh, did I consult about that client? Or like, like it wouldn't be every day, but it would be like, like I never liked taking work home with me, and I was always at one point working before work, working before, like after work, working on weekends for overtime and everything, and like it was just too much. I was like, you can keep your time and a half. I don't even want it. I just want my freedom, you know. I wasn't really like into um I don't know, there was a lot of stuff that I kind of wasn't like into. Like I wasn't it, it wasn't a good fit forever, but it was a good enough fit. And I think the best part of it was that, I made some really great friends there. And that's probably what kept me there, in all honesty, was because I worked with really cool people that I got to see like every day. And even if it was just like a little bit in passing here or there, I'd rather be in a community of people that like it was, for me, it felt like a decent culture. Like there were always like a couple people who were like toxic, but so basically September is the month that, I officially started taking a class um to kind of get myself trained to get the heck out of there. But I was still working full time. And I think no, I think maybe September is when I reduced my hours too, or when I started that conversation, and when I started talking to my old clinic about like potentially coming back because they had just gotten a new um contract. So instead of making the $18 an hour I would have been making somewhere between, I don't remember if it was $32 to $34 or $34 to $36. But either way, I knew that I needed 40 minimum. Like, so I want to say it was going to be close to like $32 an hour, and I was like, I can't really swing that because that would have meant I would have had to move back to San Diego and try to afford rent with that pay, and not being able to really save because everything had gone up so much. And I was like, I really can't do the roommate thing again, so I just didn't take the job. Because I was like, I need to work on me. I can't be having these people that I'm living with all the time, because it's just not working out for me. um as we all know, I mean, I think we are all now clear that I cannot do that. It's not going to work for me. Like if I have an opportunity to not do that, as many episodes as I've recorded about those experiences, I think it's very clear now that that's too much drama for me. It's not a good fit. I don't want any of that in my life. um it's not worth any amount of cheap rent or anything. um but yeah, it's been a struggle for sure, in a lot of ways, just trying to like get some footing, and even like predicting how things are gonna go. That's what's hard. It's like sometimes I'm like trying to make these goals and make these like deadlines, and then it's like, well, a lot of it doesn't have to do with me. It's like I can make a deadline, but if the other party doesn't answer, or whatever it may be, it's like, okay, like, so I was kind of realizing that today. I was like, oh shoot, it's been like a year. Um, and most people who do this class, by the way, like a lot of them, I don't know if it's most, but a lot of them finish it in like within an amount of weeks. Like it took me months, because I started when I was in a place like mentally, emotionally, just like educationally, just physically, like I just didn't have my brain all sorted out enough to even do a job like that, to even like start trying to do a new job. Like I was barely hanging on to my own job. Like I wasn't getting threatened or like written up or anything. Like there were never any complaints like that. It was just like I could feel, I was like, I need to take a break. I need to get out of here or else I'm gonna get to the point where I'm gonna start getting written up in complaints because I can't do this job. Like I was just like you know, I just wasn't performing well. Mostly because I wasn't sleeping hardly at all because of this stupid roommate. But I mean, other than that, I kind of realized, over time, like all the things that were combined. And so when I initially was like, okay, like I'm gonna take this class and then like see if I can finish it in like a month, like all these other people did. October rolled around of 2022. November rolled around, and I finally realized I think I realized when I went snowboarding that season, I was like, I am out of shape. I am depressed. Like, I went up for multiple times and multiple days each time because I was finally working remotely. So I was like, cool, I'm working remote. So I can go up. And so I went up, but then I was like, that was the first time I ever remember going up and having such high anxiety that, I did stay in the hotel. Like, I did go, but it's like, I stayed in the hotel. I stayed in the freaking hotel, guys. Like, I was more happy just sitting around the hotel. And it wasn't even like a nice, like, with a lobby and all that. Like, it was like the basic kind where it's like, it has the rooms around the outside and there's no like inside, like, nice bar or like restaurant in there. Like, it's next to like a Del Taco gas station. Like, there's not like anything right there that you can do. And so, like, you can hike around and stuff, but there's not really anything that you can actually do, like, event wise, um, that's like within walking distance. And so I was kind of like, and it's right by like these two freeway entrances and stuff. It's a busy spot, but it's the cheapest place that's like a 20-minute drive from the resort. So I was like, cool, stay there. And I've got recordings about it too, where I was like, I don't even know what's wrong with me. Like, I did not know what was wrong with me. Like, that was the weirdest thing that to me was like one of the biggest tip offs where I was like, whoa, like things are not going well. Like, I've never come up to the mountains, been so out of shape that I couldn't even hardly do the sport, got injured by not even really doing anything. Like, ever since then, I've had this weird, like, rhomboid, I don't even say rhomboid injury, like that shoulder blade area. Um, that I got from then, and it's like it gets all tight and I have to like I've learned how to stretch it out, and it's like, man, like it's a lot of pain. I'm like, dude, like when did I get this out of shape? Like, that was the first time I ever remember being that out of shape where I was like, whoa, this is shocking. Like, I was like, I can barely keep my balance. Like, I was not good. Like, I was like, wow. And that was so depressing. I was like, I've been doing this sport since like a little bit, since like maybe 7th grade, 8th grade was the first time I got on a snowboard, but I've never been like great, but I've always been able to like get on a lift and like go down the mountain and like not really worry. Like, I even if I have weird form and like I'm not really good, like I never worry about like controlling my board or like stopping when I need to or turning when I need to. Like, it's sloppy, it doesn't look graceful or like good, but I can maneuver the way I maneuver. But I can, I've never had any like major wipeouts or anything. I'm pretty cautious, especially when I go by myself. I'm not trying to get like airlifted out or anything, because you can already get injured falling off a lift wrong, twisting something wrong, somebody else running into you. Like, there's so many ways to already get injured that it's like I'm not trying to like make myself have more issues around that. So I did what I could, but I was like, wow, like I'm so bad. Like, and I just felt bad. Like, I didn't have the motivation. I remember one day just being like, I don't even want to go. And I was like, if I'm this stressed out about it, maybe I should just not go, because I'm here for more days. Let me just not go. And there was a time, I think this other last season, where, I went up there for like 3, 4 days or something and just didn't go. And it's like, sometimes I was like, I just value being out of town and in a hotel, not sharing with all these people. Like, I valued that more than I valued the actual snowboarding experience itself. I was just like, I just want to have a place to myself and just chill on my phone or on the internet and just ignore everyone and not have to worry about anybody talking to me or knocking on the door or trying to get my attention or needing me to like interact because I'm walking past them. And so now I have to be like polite. And like there was no pressure. Like it was just I can just do my own thing. Um and so I did like that. And I was like, I'd rather just stay in the hotel. Like so that was surprising to me. Like the first time it happened, that was very surprising to me. And then the second time it happened, I was like, this is more than what I thought. This is more than how I thought it was gonna go. But yeah, I never um I don't know, like I was always kind of I don't know. It's easy to get kind of stressed out about stuff, but you know, I was never um I don't know, like it was just eye opening. Like I was like experiencing things that year, that in 2022 that I had never really experienced before with like my energy levels and stuff. Cuz I think I hadn't been working out enough or like, and I hadn't been sleeping enough. Like just that combination and just like eating takeout all the time to ignore the roommates as much as possible. Like those three things, I feel like I still haven't fully got that back on track. Like I got into like a really bad habit with that kind of stuff. Um and still unfortunately sometimes continue that. I'm getting better with it, but it's like it's been a struggle just to kind of get the basics. Like I'm like, dude, I just need to get the basics down, you know? Um so yeah, I'm realizing I'm like, okay, what have I like progressed with for like what have I seen progress in for like the last year? Like I think I'm getting better at like recognizing when things aren't good because at least I've got some kind of reflective process. Um as far as making the decisions, changing the behaviors and stuff, eh, I don't track it that detailed, but um I think I'm doing a little better with it. Honestly, I'm doing a little bit better with it. Um and I'm going to doctors and stuff and like getting some input, and I'm a little more motivated because I'm like, all right, they're gonna make me weigh in or they're gonna ask me about these questions. So I kind of try to do stuff that they say, and I'm trying to work on stuff, but I'm not like super strict, but I'm also not like not doing it. So it's kind of like one of those things where I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. But yeah, I'm uh pretty surprised it's been so long. Um, I think ordinarily on the timeline that I prefer, my end date for training and my start time for a new job was supposed to be actually for moving. I was hoping it would be September. Um, like now, like this month, but that's just because I had to pick something, and I was like, okay, like this is what I'm picking because I hadn't really started actually applying to jobs. So like the timeline is I started the class in September of 2022. I quit my job December of 2022, like the last day I could right before New Year's Eve. I well I had moved before that. I moved in June of 2022. So I moved at the beginning of the summer, and then I didn't even know if I was gonna stay that long, but I was like, well, I can't keep this job because it's not remote. I mean, it is remote, but like it's gonna like they were saying how it was gonna get less and less remote once January comes, and I'm like, well, I can't be less and less remote if I'm like in LA and have to be in San Diego. Like I'm not gonna be commuting every other day. Um that's absurd. I know people do it, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm like, geez, no way. Um and so, like uh I didn't really know that I was going to take that long of a break either. like once I moved in June, I think it took me almost till September to actually feel like a little bit of that burden kind of lifting a little bit, because I was feeling like crap, you know. There was a lot of, I think, the way I would explain it now, there was like some grief of like leaving. I wasn't That wasn't in the game plan to like leave San Diego and move away from all my friends and stuff and then move back home, where it's not terrible, but there's still stuff I have to put up with that I wouldn't have to put up with if I didn't live here. Um and so there's things like that that it's hard to really know, like, is it really something to complain about or not. I think it is, but it's like the things I'm dealing with the people I'm dealing with, they're not going to change. And so it's like, my best bet is doing what I can do on my end. Like, I'm not expecting them to like change how they are. I would like that. I would like for what I need to change to best fit my own um personality and my own needs. I would prefer for them to change on their end, but it's going to have to be me that changes on my end. Either, just keeping up the boundaries, which I've been setting, which is hard because you know how it is with your parents, like how you set boundaries with your parents, you know what I mean? Like they don't want to hear it. So, you know, that's not easy, and I need to hydrate because it's almost 8 p.m. But, um, yeah, like, um, I guess, yeah, like when it came to like January, like the beginning of this year, through like March, April, even May, like I think April I started studying more for the exam. May I took the exam. I thought I took it in April, but I guess I got my certificate in May. So I must have taken it in May because then I had that concert in Vegas in May. Then I racked up a little bit of summer debt, which was not smart, but I did it anyways to kind of light a fire up under me. So there are some things that I've kind of done like that. To me, it's not like, sometimes I don't take like the smartest method of doing things, but I kind of know what works for me a little bit. Like when my motivation's super low, I'm like, I need something to light a fire up under me just so I'll like get to it. So it's like I don't need to like spend money to go to concerts in San Diego. I could skip them. I could be like, I'm not spending all that money. Let me just come to town for the weekend and not spend like $260 on a 2-day concert. Like I could skip that part, but I really want to go, first of all, and then second of all, it's a lot easier to, cancel on like a dinner plan or like let's go to a club kind of plan versus like an actual concert. So I'm not gonna cancel on that. Like my friends know, like, okay, like if I can't make it, I'm gonna be as forthcoming as possible. But if I can't make it, which that shouldn't be a problem, but if I can't make it, um, it's gonna be, um, yeah, if I can't make it, it's gonna be because of something urgent and unfortunate. It's not gonna be like because I'm having like the most fun of my life, so I'm canceling. It's like, I don't want to cancel. So I don't really know, guys. Like I'm kind of trying to figure that out. Um, there's a lot of little bits and pieces I'm trying to figure out. Um, when it comes to dating and stuff, I really don't even care right now. I'm like, there was a point where I was like into it. I'm like, right now I'm like, screw everybody, man. I'm working out myself. Like I don't really care what anybody wants or needs from me right now. It's like I got nothing. I got nothing to give. Like unless I'm in my own party mode, I got nothing for anybody. Like I barely got anything for myself. So I'm not even going to try to like appease people. Like I don't really care. They can figure it out themselves. Um and it's pretty cold, but I mean, it's like I've definitely overextended myself to too many people for too long. And um you know, if I don't take care of myself, nobody else is going to do it. Like I've got family members with a whole lot of health issues and bad terrible health habits, and even just living with people who have like worse health habits than mine definitely affects me. It's like we've got stuff in the house that I would never be buying because I feel like it's a waste of money. Like, why buy ice cream and cookies and chips? Like, that's not food. Like if you buy stuff that's not like real food, you're gonna eat it. So in my head, I'm like, why am I wasting money on groceries when I could spend money on actual, real, legit, delicious, healthy foods versus spending all this other money on junk food? It's like I don't even need it in the house. Like, because I eat enough takeout, I feel like, or if I want to go to McDonald's or In N Out, it's like that's unhealthy enough. I don't need to go to In N Out and then come home and then eat chips and cookies. It's like, come on, like it's not good. It's not good at all. I don't see anything good about it. But to me, it's like a values thing. But to my family, they're like, indulge. Like they really want that kind of food. And to me, I'm like, it's hard for me to resist it if it's in the house. And it's like when I'm trying to make healthy decisions and I've actively explained to people that I don't really want that stuff around me, but then they're still having it around, it's like they've got their own problems with what they eat, and they've got their own problems with their own weight and their own health. And it's like I can already see other people's patterns kind of creeping into my life. It's like I don't need that. I don't need that at all. um like I'm not blaming them. I'm just saying, like, like I would prefer that they keep the boxes of snacks in their bedroom so that I don't have to deal with them, so they can eat all the boxes by themselves and not have it in my face, because I'm not going to go over there to eat them or ask for them or anything. So I would rather they just didn't have it, and then they won't keep it in their room because they're like, I don't like food in my room. It's like, so yeah, it's like stuff like that where I'm like, well, we can't compromise on this. You're just going to keep it in an open space where I have to see it every day. So it's stuff like that I'm just like, great. you know um like, but it's always like it could be worse. It could be worse. Like, to me, these are the kind of things that bother me, but it's like I also know that other people have their own things going on too. Like, I'm not going to expect other people to be perfect in their things. I have stuff that I deal with too, where it's like I'm getting in other people's ways too with the way that I can be. So it's kind of like, like we all just have to deal with each other these days. But I don't know, like I like I do, I was kind of having a not a very reflective weekend, but a little bit. And then um yeah, with finances, I kind of figured out how that works, which is kind of unfortunate. Like in 2020, that's when I finally actually started paying attention to like learning about money. Like, it's pretty sad to say, but like it's true. Like, I didn't really learn about it. Like, I never was really taught much. Like, all my family taught me was like, don't get credit cards and never use debt, and like that's what they taught me, but that's not what they did. And so I kind of got into that. I didn't get so much into the credit cards. I got more into like payday loans and stuff like that. Um because there was something about it that was like, okay, if I have to go pay in person, that's going to be more embarrassing and motivating for me to like stop doing it than it would be to like um than it would be to actually like um you know to actually like deal with a credit card where there's no actual human that I have to like come face to face with. Um but yeah, it didn't really stop me from doing it. They knew me. Like, I would just go in and pay the thing and then take out a loan the same day I paid it off, and then they were just making money off of me left and right. So for a while, not it wasn't like the whole time I was in San Diego, but it was for a while, until one day I was like, dude, this is embarrassing. Like, I shouldn't be coming here. Like, I need to get my stuff under control. So I did do that and did kind of figure out the money. Um and you know, but I also did learn that I am pretty motivated by debt. to get myself out of debt now that I know how to do it. So that's it's kind of like one of those things, like it was good that I learned, but at the same time I did kind of make a mistake this summer, kind of getting some debt to my name again. Um After having been out of debt for so long, like I've been out of debt for like a while, and my credit score went way up and I was really good, and then I was like, dude, I just kind of stopped paying for things for a while. I got like really irresponsible for a while during summer. Um and I wasn't really going anywhere. It was just one of those things where I was like, I'm in a slump and I'll deal with it later. And I kind of was like, okay, like I'll start dealing with it. But um like what I was trying to say with the trips to San Diego is kind of related to that, because I'm like, well, you know, um, to go to San Diego, I have to have money. I have to have a comfortable amount of money, because I'm traveling out of the city, and so it's like I'm going to like two counties down, so um, I'm not just gonna go there with no money, and it's an expensive city. And Orange County that I have to pass through is also an expensive city, and so or an expensive county, and LA is also expensive, and so it's like there's no real financial break. It actually costs a lot of money to go do these things, um, but it actually helps because then it's like, okay, I'm gonna work harder and make the money, and that makes me have to kind of like get things in order, by a certain date and actually make the amount of money that I have to make. Otherwise I'm not going. That's just how it is. I've got other money that I'm just not touching. Even if I've got debt, I'm not touching that other money. Like it's it's not money that's meant to be touched or used or anything. Like it's urgent emergency money. Like it's not money for expenses. It's not money for, like, that's probably I think that's the wrong way to do it, because I think you should pay your debt first. But yeah. Um Let me see. I'm gonna have to switch out this mic because it's got this blinking red. I think my battery's probably going out. So let me see. All right, so I hope this is gonna record fine. Um yeah, I turned my mic off because it was blinking. I don't think it has a good battery life. I think it probably lasts like 2 to 3 hours. That's not very long, honestly. I don't know what I feel about this mic. I might actually return it. Like, it's okay, but I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't like that it has to have a receiver. It's kind of annoying. Because then it's like, well, now I have to carry this little pouch around and I have to charge the mic. It's like, this is so annoying, Like, I don't know. Like, I'm very picky about things, but I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's just not a good product. Not completely, but it was also so cheap that I'm like, do I really want to return the stupid thing, But I'm like, I don't know. I'll think about it. Like, it's not my favorite product, but it's not my least favorite product. It's a cool little gadget, but it's like, other than for podcasting while driving, I don't really see, like, I guess the better opportunity to use that mic compared to the mic that I normally would use. The one that I usually use has a cable that I have to plug in, and it's got a bigger windscreen on it, and it's a bigger mic. This one's flatter a little bit, and it's got a small windscreen on it, and it's sorry, I forgot about this water. And it's yes, it has a receiver I have to plug in, but I can also charge the phone through the receiver. And so I don't think it's like the other one. I can't charge the phone at the same time, which is the only other thing. So that kind of sucks. But it's like, that's the only thing that makes me kind of want to keep it. But then, because I have to plug it in, I just don't know, guys. I'm about to finish this bottle of water because I got like 3 minutes. And if I keep talking, I'm going to pause and then just finish this. All right, I finished the water with 1 minute to spare. Yeah, I'm going to go to bed early tonight, so I don't want to be drinking water late. Man, guys. So, yeah, there's still a lot I'm trying to get in order. I'm not perfect at things. I don't think I'm ever going to really be perfect at things, but, getting more and more disciplined, like, little by little. It's just kind of hard because I've gotten into some bad habits of just, like, avoiding things. Like, I kind of learned that in grad school. It's like, okay, when you need to kind of get more free time, skip the gym, don't cook food, go buy something quick and fast and cheap and delicious, and likely unhealthy. Skip the gym, don't go hiking on the weekend, stay in, don't go outside, but I pretty much always was socializing. That's one thing that I've taken off the list that I don't do lately, but it's not really because I don't want to. It's just because I don't want to spend the money, because I don't know. In San Diego, it's a little different because it was a little cheaper and I was working more. And so, I wasn't like looking for a job. I was working more. Like right now, I can't work as much as I want to work because I've got to find work. So it's like it takes so long. And there are a lot of days that I take off from looking for work because I don't like the process of it. It's boring and it sucks. And then I find myself going down the wrong routes of just like looking into so much stuff that I'm not interested in. And then, just not really being too, fully motivated to look for jobs. Because it's like, it's not like I'm not making any money. So it's kind of like one of those things is like, the process of doing other work gets in the way of me finding work because it takes the energy away. But I am a little more motivated towards it just because I want to see what's going to happen by the end of this year. I've got some goals for the mountains, and so it would be really disappointing if I couldn't find something, almost anything, good enough. Seasonal work is going to start coming out, so that's okay. And I don't mind working. The thing is that my hobbies even have an amount of work that I put into them. It's like my hobbies are still like, a lot of times they involve a lot of skill development. So it's like, it's just, I don't know. I'm kind of like burning the candle almost at both ends and through the middle. It's like I'm just burning that dang candle, everywhere. I'm burning through the middle of the wax and then the exposed wax in the middle and exposing some wax at the end and then burning through the top of the candle. And like, I'm just burning the dang thing. Like, and I was kind of thinking about it more this morning. I was like, maybe I need to kind of put some of these projects on hold, because it's been nice having time to finally dive into all these like passion projects. But it's like, dude, like I can't maintain this level of, it's kind of a high level of stress to be doing like 3 major things every day. That I try to put an equal amount of work into, and then at the same time trying to like balance my sleep and exercise and nutrition and appointments and all this other stuff, like it's just not gonna work. Like, I try to be organized, but it's not gonna work. Like, it's just not gonna work, you guys. It's not gonna work. So I'm kind of I don't know, like, I kind of got a new, I don't know. I'm not saying that I'm never going to have like a negative mindset, cuz my mind is very, it can be very negative, and I try not to be negative, and I hope it doesn't come across that way, but I can tell. I'm like, things aren't really going exactly how I want them to go. And they haven't been for a while, but also I can see the benefit, like, of having so much of a break and so much flexibility. Like, I'm kind of able to just be like, okay, Wednesdays I don't want to do something, or like, like today, like, I didn't expect to have such bad sleep last night. So today, as busy as I really wanted to be, I pushed everything till like afternoon. I had some C4 in the afternoon, and then ended up probably around, I don't know what time, let's call it 12:30. I really don't know what time it was, but yeah, in the afternoon I kind of yeah, I don't know. Yeah, in the afternoon I kind of I was just, I don't know how to describe it, but I tried to sleep in today. It just wasn't happening. I think I dozed for a second while I was listening to like a book, but it was probably not even more than like 20 minutes, probably like 10 minutes or something. And that was it, maybe max. And then I was just up all day, so. And I did have a lot of caffeine, so. Because I had a scoop of C4 thinking I was going to make it to the gym, which I was like, let me just work on these job applications. I feel like it's going to be one or the other today, guys. Like, job applications or freaking gym. And so I skipped the gym. I feel like I ate okay today. I made some pasta that wasn't the best. The bag said to boil it for 5 minutes. Usually it says 10 to 12, so I was like, why 5? And it felt like it was tender enough to start eating, but then when I started eating it, I was like, dude, this isn't really fully cooked yet. And it was too late by that point, because I'd already put the sauce on it and everything, and like drained out all the water, so I was like, dang it. Like, it wasn't crunchy or anything or frozen. It was all the way hot, but it was just, it could have been softer. But it was edible. Like, it wasn't gonna make me sick or whatever. It was frozen. It was called tortellinis. But I think they were raviolis. I don't know the difference. But it was like spinach and ricotta cheese, and I added some ragu pasta sauce. I like Classico better, but I don't think my mom shops were I think Classico's from Target, right? Maybe it's from Ralph's too, but I think she shopped at like Smart and Final. But yeah, this last week, I guess I spent a lot of money. Ended up getting some supplements tonight, some melatonin and some probiotic supplements, and so I'm like, cool. I had some of my organic vegetable-based protein shake. I didn't really eat a whole lot today because I was just thrown off, but I did have that breakfast sandwich, and I did have a Perfect Bar, and I did have some of those raviolis, and then some macaroni, and then some, yeah, I had a glass of that protein shake, so I don't know how many calories that is. Probably a little over 1,000, but I don't really know for sure. But But yeah, I kept it kind of, it was, I don't know if I'd call that light eating, but for me it was almost light eating. I'm hoping I'll sleep earlier because of it. But part of me feels like I could kind of eat more, but then I'm like, I really don't want to eat more because I'm tired. And so I'm hoping I'll sleep early. But yeah, I just kind of need to get back into a sleep routine because I went off of it. I've gotten into this habit of watching really intense stuff right before bed. It's almost like I'm sabotaging myself. It's like I know I'm not going to sleep well if I watch this, but I do it anyways. Like I have all day. Like I could watch it at like 9 o'clock in the morning if I wanted to. Like I don't have to watch it at 9 o'clock at night. Like if I want to watch like war movies and stuff, I could watch it at like 8 a.m., 6 a.m. Like I'm up. Like I could watch it at 6 a.m. I'm not doing anything. Like I'm maybe podcasting, but other than that, it's like I could watch it at those times. But yeah, right now it's still the basic stuff, but I'm probably gonna put some of the other projects on hold just so I can put more time and energy into these applications. And other than the basics with the health related stuff, I'm just gonna really have to focus on making money and getting a job, getting these applications in. I have gotten more organized with it though, finally, with like, messaging the recruiters and all these other things. But I'm like, it's just so time consuming and there's very little reward in it. The most I hear back is usually from people who are not even, the most I hear back is from the people that aren't interested. I haven't gone back yet and sent all those messages being like, why didn't you accept me? It's like, dude, like, I'm so tired. Like, I don't even want to know at this point. Like, I mean, I do want to know because it's important, but it's like, it's just more to have to follow up with. And maybe I could get some insight from that. And, but yeah, I'm trying to, like, do more with, like, the cover letters and all this stuff. It's just so freaking tedious to be doing all that. But, it's got to be done. I think it's got to be done. Like, I don't think it's something I can avoid. I've got to do it the right way. I mean, we're in the middle of an economic decline, so this isn't the best time to be searching for work or changing careers. I'm already aware of that, but I've got a little something on the side, a couple little somethings on the side, so I'm not hurting too bad, but I just got to rely on these old cars, and that's kind of what worries me more, is I'm like, dude, if this car goes out, I'm kind of screwed. I'm probably going to have to spend some extra money then, because we can't have, like, no household car, especially because we have 3 of them. It's like we can't have none if we have 3, so, I'm still kind of in the process of selling mine too, but it's like, I'm debating, I might have to actually get it fixed so I can sell it, because everybody wants to lowball me. I don't think I'm going to be able to get more than maybe $900 for it, which is pretty sad, because it's a dang good car, but it is very old. So it's kind of a hard decision. Like, at one point I was super gung-ho about selling it, and now I'm just like, I don't really know if I really want to sell it. Like, it's a good car, like, but I don't know, like, I might wait till I have a job, like, something solid that's, like, like, I really don't want to get into payments with something, and if I do, I don't want to be paying on something for, like, years like that. Like, I don't think I'm willing to make payments on something for even a year. I just don't want to deal with that. That's too much. I don't know what's going to happen in a year. And, like, say if I get a job and I don't like it, and then I already have a car that I have to make payments on. It's like, stuff like that makes it, I don't like the feeling of having to be stuck. That's why I never got a long lease when I was renting. I was like, I know how it is living with people. I want to be able to move within the month, if there's ever anything going weird. I always try to keep things as simple as possible without getting into any kind of major payments, because then it's like, well, if you have trouble at work or something, now you're stuck in this job and got to make payment because you got to make payments on your car, or stuck in this job because you got to make payments on some other debt or something. And so it's like, I'd rather just not feel stuck in a job. Like, that to me is not the best feeling. I've never really felt stuck in a job other than that I felt obligated towards clients. That kind of made me feel more stuck in my job before. But yeah, like, I don't really know. Like, I think I've definitely done a lot this year. I've learned a lot this year. I've been very creative this year. Like, not just 2023. I mean, just from like September of 2022 till this month of September now. But yeah, I'm trying to kind of get my joyful spirit back. Like, that it's been a while, since I've had like a lot of joy. It's kind of like, yeah, I can be happy about things. Like, I can be happy about things, grateful about things, but I'm kind of like, yeah, like, I don't tend to get that much delight out of a lot of things. Like, I wake up, kind of do the things I'm gonna do, kind of gets a little momentum on some stuff, kind of get the day kind of going. Usually I've got my plans for what I want to do, and I usually plan too many things and see which of them I actually complete. Like, usually if I'm doing 2 things, I can do 2 things, but once it gets to be like 3, 4 things, like if it's like go to the gym and do deliveries and go, apartment viewing and, go to Barnes and Noble and read some books or something, like, I'm probably not going to do all that. Like, I'll probably do 2 of the things, and then when I come home, I might not really want to cook. So lately I've been home a little bit more. Like, last week I didn't drive that much at all. And so I did cook a lot more, though. I got in a lot more cooking. And so I try to kind of balance things out a little bit. It's like, okay, if I'm taking this off the table, I'm going to actually put this in its place a little bit. So I was in the house more with all that heat and everything. So I decided, since I'm in the house more, I'll just cook more, because I don't want to get up and get out and like have to go get stuff. So, which I did kind of go out a little bit too, but I didn't really do that much last week, honestly. But yeah, tomorrow I'm going to have to get out of the house more, because I've been in the house for the past like couple days. Like, I've been outside a little bit, but I've just been like in the house, like on the property. I feel like I drove somewhere this morning. Didn't I? I feel like I drove somewhere. Maybe that was Friday. I don't know. I can't remember. Maybe that was I think Friday I drove, because I went to the gym. Yeah, but yeah, guys. The journey continues. I'm liking that I can sit out in the car and it's not like this time of evening. It's not too hot. It's not too cold, but the sun does go down earlier, guys. Like, I remember the last times I was sitting in my car, it was like this time of night around 8:17. It's 8:17 p.m. right now. It was around 8 something p.m. and it would still be light out and hot. And, I came outside and I was like, even though it was hot today, I've been sitting in the car with the windows rolled up since like 7:21, and it's been nice. So, and it's also not the time of year where I'm getting like too cold. Like, I'm still outside in some shorts and a t-shirt. So yeah, I'm gonna go in, just get rolling on my night. I might watch some stuff. I've been watching some things that I find motivational. I like hearing religious people talk about cults and leaving cults. For some reason, I find that very motivational, even though some of the stories are dark, but I kind of like some of the happier stories. And I've also been enjoying just stuff about the job roles that I'm going to be going into. Just people talking about their success stories and things. I've really been liking those videos. So, and, a lot of stuff about like finance and, mental health and things like that. Like I've been, going through some books about those topics. And so I've been kind of enjoying this weekend, just kind of relaxing into stuff that I enjoy. Even though I do need to actually be busy at the same time. So I feel like I spent almost 2 days relaxing. Today was like a half version of relaxing because I was attempting to do a lot of stuff and then just realized, it's just not going to happen today. That's not what's going to work. So, like, I'm too tired to really do much. But yeah, guys, I got to get on with it. I'm running out of steam here, and I've been rambling, and I don't even know if I directly said what I was trying to say, but yeah, we went through the timeline and all the major bullets of what I kind of had in mind of what I've been working on and kind of how I plan to tweak things, and yeah, all right. But I gotta get to bed soon, so I'm gonna start unwinding for like the next hour or so. I hope to be sleeping by 10. I'll probably be asleep by 10. So, or 10:30 maybe. But, alright guys. With that, thanks for listening, and happy Labor Day weekend, and happy milestone month of September. All right.